Hi guys, this is Jamie with Country Life Cavaliers, and today we are going to talk about how to avoid getting scammed by scammers who are pretending to have a puppy available and end up getting deposit money from you, and in the end you never ever get a puppy. Nobody likes having that done to them. They are very good at what they do. One of the biggest things to make sure that they are not a scammer though is to make sure that you get a vet reference. Ask them who is your vet and where are they located, and then you can Google it yourself and usually verify with them, because sometimes we have multiple vets right now and sometimes you can get them mixed up, and whenever you call them they're like, I don't know who you're talking about. But verify with them, is this the vet you're talking about, and then call that vet. Don't ever let them give you the number and say, call this number, this is my vet, because they could easily be scamming you there. A breeder would usually have to get the permission to their vet to share that information, but we have had people who have reached out to us. They had already put a deposit down on a puppy, and then she was suddenly so scared that I was a scammer, and I was like, hey, just here's my vet, call Scotts Creek up, ask them about Jamie and Fred Pritchett. She called them up, they gave her a bunch of information, and she called me back all happy, and I was like, I feel so much better now. Another thing that you can do is don't be scared to ask questions. If you're not sure about something, just ask them. Any reputable breeder is going to be beyond open to sharing anything that you ask them. They shouldn't have a problem with answering any of your questions, and if they do, they're probably not very reputable. Another thing, ask them where they're located. Don't tell them where you're located, because what we have found by messing with scammers is they try to find out from you where you're located, and then they're going to be 10-15 hours away from you, so that you have to ship the puppy. You can't come visit the puppy before you put this deposit down, because they're too far away from you. So always ask them where they're located before you tell them where you're located. And then if they are local, ask them, can I come see the puppies? I'd rather see the puppies before I put a deposit down. There are some reputable breeders who do not allow visits though. So that is something that you would have to understand with some breeders, because some of them just don't feel comfortable with it. We are a breeder who does allow visits. It's by appointment, and it has to be after the puppies are 4 weeks old, and then we have a few other requirements just to make sure that our puppies are safe, to make sure that our dogs stay safe, and all of that. But we do allow visits after 4 weeks old. Ask for FaceTime videos. FaceTime, they have gotten kind of good at trying to pretend like as if they're FaceTiming you, but really they just have their video on a loop. But if you ask them to do certain things, if you would say, well, pick up the puppy with the black collar, and so they reach and they pick up the puppy with the black collar, and they're like, see, here's the puppy with the black collar, that's kind of a little hard to hide in a loop. And then you can ask them, put it closer to the camera, take it away, show its back, whatever you need them to do, and ask them to do another puppy. Ask them, okay, I saw that one enough, let me see the next one. If they can't do that on a FaceTime, then they're most likely a scammer. I've had someone who I knew they were a scammer, and I asked for FaceTime. Surprisingly, they were able to FaceTime me, but it was a video on a loop, and I could tell. And when I asked them, hey, pick up that puppy for me, they suddenly did not have good service, and they ended the call. Phone calls are always good. If you can get them to call you on their actual phone, you call them. You can't always, I consider telling everyone to use white pages, look up the phone number and see if their phone number matches their name. But if you look up my name, Jamie Pritchett, with my phone number, it does not match. I don't know why. I've had this phone number for 2 or 3 years now. I can't really remember how long I've had it. I think it might have been 4 years. But I've had this number for a while, and it's still not associated with my name. And my name under white pages is still by my old name, which is Jamie Curtis. So you can't always go by that. My husband's name is with his number, but mine is not. That is kind of a way to go by, but it doesn't always work. Just keep that in mind. If you ever do get somebody's phone number and then you look them up on white pages, it might not match. Another thing is asking them for a photo and then asking them to put the date and a certain name on the photo or whatever. You have to be wary of that because some of them are pretty good at Photoshop. So I have asked them for that, knowing that they were a scam, and they did send me a picture with my name on it, but you could tell that it was whited out and drawn on with the where you can do it through your phone instead of actually taken with the puppy. So I don't know how to, that one I'm not quite sure how to avoid now because of the fact that they can Photoshop the name in and the picture in. It just, you have to look really close and zoom in. So that isn't always actually right, but you could ask them for their website and any other platforms they have. Whenever, most of the time people are getting scammed, they are getting scammed through Facebook. So I would ask for their actual personal Facebook, go to that and send them a friend request. If they can't accept that friend request, they're probably a scam. I always accept friend requests from any potential buyer. If they are even considering getting on my wait list, I will accept that friend request. How old is that Facebook page? Is it just a couple months old or is it less than a year old? Those are all red flags. If their page isn't that old, that doesn't mean that they are a scam, but it is a lot more likely that they are. Most people have had Facebook for years, so if their page isn't very old, then they're probably a scam, especially if they don't have profile pictures or updated pictures in their timeline. Most people have that, and that is something that you would want to look for also. Ask for references. If they're a breeder, they should have references, and those references should be able to speak for them. I have plenty of people who have told me, if you need to use me for a reference, you can use me for a reference. Just give my name and number and I will help them out. Ask about their program. Ask how they raise their puppies, what type of programs they use, what health testing do they do OFAs? Ask for the OFA. Most people, if they do their OFAs, you can search their dog's name on the OFA site and you can find all that information. People still can lie about that. They can say that that is their dog, but it should be backed up by their website or their Facebook page or whatever. It needs to be backed up. If it's not backed up, then you know that they're most likely a scam. If the price is too good to be true, it's probably a scam. We usually do not find healthy tested puppies that are under 2,000. If they are under that, especially if they are under 1,000, they are a scam unless it's a retired dog. Retired dogs usually don't go for as much as a puppy would go because they're older and they're retired. Usually breeders would only charge the cost of the spay or the neuter to rehome that dog, or at least that is what we do. I'm not exactly sure what everybody does, but if the price is too good to be true, it probably is not a good thing. If they're pushy about a deposit, if they're saying, you know, you need to send this deposit now, are you going to send me the money? How do you want to send the money? And they keep pushing it, they are a scam. If they say you have to send your deposit through PayPal, friends and family, or something like that, then that is their way of scamming you, because if you send it friends and family, then you have already told PayPal, yes, I trust these people, I know who these people are, and I'm going to pay the fee to send it to them. If they say you have to do that, you just tell them, no, I'm not going to send it friends and family. I will send it as a business transaction, but I will add the 3%. Offer to add the 3%. If they refusing to do it that way, then you know they are a scam. No breeder is going to say you have to send it friends and family. Most of them aren't going to ask you to send the extra 3% either. I always offer to send the extra 3% just because I don't like having people to use their money for that fee that they charge. We don't use PayPal. We only do it the good old-fashioned way with check or money order sent directly to my address. So you end up having my address whenever you send me a deposit. That's all that we can think of right now. I'm sure that there are other ways to make sure that you do not have a scammer use you for your money. We do currently have 2 male Cavalier puppies that are available. We also have 5 female Cavapoos, but our 2 Cavalier males, I do not know which 2 they are because the woman who is first picked, she has not picked her puppy yet, and I do not require that until 6 weeks old, simply because you can't understand or see a puppy's personality when they're only 3 weeks old. Usually that's all they're doing is a lot of sleeping, like these little babies are doing. They are doing a whole lot of sleeping. That is a female. We have 6 adorable Cavaliers right now. This is Prawny, our little girl, and then we have Tuck Tuck. This is one of our boys. He has been one of the most laid back little dudes when it comes to his ENS. We go through the BAB program with all of our puppies. I'm not sure if y'all are all familiar with that, but the BAB program is called Badass, it's short for Badass Breeder, and they go from 3 days old until they go home. They are socialized daily. They are introduced to different noises, different scents, everything, different humans, different dogs, cats, everything, just to ensure that when they come to your home, they are as ready to tackle the world as they could possibly be for a 9 to 10 week old puppy. We don't allow our puppies to go home before they are 9 weeks old, simply because we like them being with mommy as long as possible. So we keep them until 9 or 10 weeks old. This is Jagan. He's another one of the males. Out of this litter, we actually only had one who had some white markings on him. One of our females actually has a little bitty white mark on her chest, but that is it. This is Pengu, our little boy who has a bunch of white on him. He has a mark there on his chin, on his forehead, and then a whole bunch on his neck. He is my drama queen of the litter. Yes, he is. He loves to be held. He'll get upset with you during pictures, but the moment you pick him up, he's all happy again and ready to snuggle. Yep. Then I still have, well, I showed you Sisu when I was telling you about picking up the black collar puppy. There's Sisu. And then last is my little Raya, and she's the one with the little bitty white mark on her chest. But that's my little Raya. And that's all I have to say so far. You can find me on my website, countrylifecavaliers.com, or on my Facebook, which is also Country Life Cavaliers. I have an Instagram, which is also Country Life Cavaliers. And I have just started a YouTube, but there isn't much on it yet. And I'm pretty sure it's also Country Life Cavaliers, but don't quote me on that one. I hope you get this video helps you guys, and that I have helped a lot of people not to get scammed again. Thank you so much.